The silence was the first thing I bought. Before the cabin, before the tools in my shed, I paid for the quiet that came with this patch of earth at the edge of Willow Creek Hollow. After 2 decades in Seattle, tangled in the web of encrypted code and corporate shadows, silence was the ultimate prize. My old life was a relentless pulse, servers humming, keyboards clattering, the constant undercurrent of dread, knowing how thin the veil guarding the world's secrets really was. Here, in this small corner of Oregon, the only sound was the rustle of pine needles in the wind. My name's Ethan Caldwell. To the folks around here, I'm just the guy in the cedar cabin at the end of the dirt road, the one with a messy garden and a half-built dirt bike out front. My hair's gone salt and pepper, a badge from years staring into the digital abyss. But the work kept me sharp, kept my body lean from hauling server racks no gym needed. My little slice of land was a gray zone, just outside the iron grip of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, and that drove its queen, Margaret Voss, absolutely wild. Margaret ran the HOA like a covert operation, all crisp blouses and a smile that never touched her eyes. Her rule over the tidy rows of Willow Creek was absolute. Her manicured empire of beige bungalows a testament to her obsession with control. My cabin, with its wild lavender patches and the skeleton of a bike I was rebuilding, was a splinter in her perfect world. For Margaret, control wasn't just power, it was survival. Her first move wasn't a polite note in the mail. No, it was personal. One foggy Tuesday morning, I found a single sheet of heavy paper slipped under my truck's wiper, folded sharp as a blade. Typed in stark font, it read, "To ensure the safety and harmony of our esteemed community partners, all residents of Pine Hollow Lane and adjacent properties are requested to remain indoors from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. for the next week. Your compliance is expected. Non-compliance will be noted. No signature, no legal weight, just a velvet-wrapped threat." My gut, honed from years sniffing out data breaches, went cold. This wasn't about neighbors. This was a line drawn at my doorstep. I snapped a photo of the note and sent it to my old friend Laura Bennett, my go-to lawyer from Seattle. Her reply was instant. "Not legal. It's intimidation, Ethan. Document everything." I texted back, "Time to lock this place down." That night, as the Oregon mist rolled in, I got to work. Old instincts kicked in, the calm of preparing for a breach. From a locked crate in my shed, I pulled 2 4K cameras, small enough to vanish into shadows. One went under the eaves of my porch, covering the backyard and the gravel path behind it. The other, my ace, I hid in a weathered birdhouse on a pine tree, its lens trained on the street where Margaret's domain began. No cloud nonsense, everything fed to an air-gapped server in my cellar, looping endlessly. I wrote a quick script for motion alerts, pinging my phone if anything bigger than a deer crossed my land after dark. By 8:30 p.m., I sat in my darkened living room, the only light from the monitor showing my camera feeds. The neighborhood was still, unnaturally so, obeying Margaret's decree. But my cabin was awake, watching. At 9:15, I laced up my boots, pulled on a flannel, and grabbed a heavy flashlight. I slipped out the back, moving slow, letting my eyes adjust to the night. Halfway across my yard, I felt that primal itch of being watched. I froze, scanning the shadows. There, just beyond the street lamp's glow, stood 2 figures. Big men, dark jackets, standing like statues. Not neighbors, not drunks, these were pros. They wanted me to see them. I kept moving, steady, toward the gate separating my land from the HOA's pristine walkway. As I reached for the latch, a voice sliced the air. "You were warned." The man on the right lunged, a taser glinting in his hand. Muscle memory took over. I pivoted, deflecting his arm as the taser sparked uselessly. My flashlight cracked down on his wrist bone, snapped. He grunted, dropping the weapon. I hooked his ankle, drove my shoulder into his chest, and sent him sprawling into the dirt. The second man came at me, fists up. I didn't wait, I kicked his shin hard, and as he buckled, my elbow slammed into his back. He hit the ground, gasping. 5 seconds, fight over. I stood over the first man, clutching his wrist, and pulled my phone. "This is assault on my property," I said, voice steady. "And it's all on 4K video." I called 911, gave the dispatcher the facts. 2 men attacked me. One's down, one's still here, video evidence secured. Red and blue lights flashed minutes later. Officer Daniels, a tired-looking cop I'd seen around, strolled up, barely glancing at the guy on the ground. "What's this about?" he drawled. "The HOA sent a notice about staying inside." I stared, incredulous. "You're saying a note from an HOA justifies a taser attack on my land?" Before he could answer, a sleek black SUV rolled up. Margaret Voss stepped out, all tailored elegance, her eyes blazing. "This is outrageous," she snapped. "You provoked my security team." I pointed to the camera under my eaves. "Every word, every move recorded, including your guy running toward your house." Her face froze, the first crack in her armor. The next morning, Daniel's report was a predictable whitewash, a dispute with a security patrol, my non-compliance noted, the taser dropped. Laura called, furious. "It's a cover-up, Ethan. That security firm? A shell, no license, tied to a P.O. box. These were hired muscle." I nodded, staring at the perfect lawns across the street. "I'm done playing their game," I said. My battlefield was data. I traced the getaway car's plate to a shady rental outfit, Cascade Fleet Services, linked to a holding company owned by Surprise Margaret Voss. Digging deeper, I found a vacant house 2 blocks away, owned by her shell company, emitting a military-grade encrypted signal. This wasn't about rules, it was a front for something big. 2 nights later, my phone pinged at 3:07 a.m. A hooded figure tossed a duffel bag over my fence, caught on camera. I didn't touch it. At dawn, I called the cops, showed Daniels the footage. His smirk faded when he saw the bag-smashed laptops, cables, a clumsy frame job. I countered their move with my own, a digital honeypot, a fake server loaded with tempting files. I sent an anonymous email to the HOA. "I know what's in the house." Hours later, they bit, hacking from that vacant house. I traced their IP, sent it to my old FBI contact, Jack Ramsey. "You found their base," he said. "This is a smuggling ring-embargoed microchips. Stay put." At 1 a.m., I launched my drone, its thermal camera showing 3 figures in the house, packing. They loaded cases into a van. I radioed Jack. "The package is moving." Black SUVs swarmed silently, nabbing the men and Margaret. She looked toward my cabin as they cuffed her, knowing I'd undone her. By morning, news vans flooded Willow Creek. Margaret, the HOA tyrant, was a smuggler. The HOA collapsed. The neighborhood bloomed with color blue mailboxes, wild gardens. Months later, Laura emailed. Margaret got 20 years. I sat on my porch, the quiet-eyed fought for finally mine. What would you do if you stumbled into a conspiracy in your own backyard? Would you fight or flee? Could you trust the law to back you up? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you up at night.